Let's do this. Luke and I on the Phillies. And a good morning / afternoon, everybody. Sean Brace and Luke Arcaini from the driver's seat. I love it. That's dedication to the hottest team in baseball, the team with the best record. We're talking about the Fightins, baby, 26-12 on the season. The Dodgers 26-13 on the year, just to let you know. And then we got some other teams that are floating around, flirting with a 25-win mark. But bottom line is, here we are 6 weeks into the season, Luke, and I want to start here with this. The Phillies have the best record in baseball. What do you make of that? What's the first thing that goes to your mind? Is it surprising? Is it shocking? Is it something you banked on? Everything leading up to where we're at right now. I'm not hanging a banner. This is Bank Park, by no means, but it's still pretty damn cool to have the best record in baseball 6-7 weeks into the year.
Yeah, it's not bad. I said before the season, I think if they play consistent baseball, they can win 100 games. And all they've done so far this year is played consistent baseball. They're winning the games they should. They're 14 games over 500 in May. I couldn't tell you the last time they were even close to that number in May. So they're just getting the job done. It seems like the team just kind of knows like what they need to do. The past years, I think the issues have been they kind of get lackadaisical the first few months, and then June 1st hits, and we get June Schwarber. Everyone goes nuclear for the next 4 months. But I think they're finally starting to put together a full baseball season, and I think they realize that with some issues with the Braves, who haven't looked great. I mean, they've looked pretty good, but they haven't looked like the Braves from the last 2 years so far. I mean, the Phillies know that they can win this division. And right now, I think the Phillies know that they could probably hold the top spot in the entire league by the end of the season if they keep playing how they're playing right now. So, yeah, I mean, all the vibes are good. Basically, to put it into perspective for tonight, the Phillies are good and the Marlins are not. That's kind of the best analysis there for tonight.
Yeah, this is going to be a rough Mother's Day weekend for the Miami Mothers down there. That's a 10-29 ball club. It's just atrocious. They've been waving the white flag essentially from the first game of the season. Luis Ariz just got dealt to the San Diego Padres 2 weeks ago, a week ago, whatever it was. It's all she wrote. This is a dead man walking team, and what the Phillies need to go down there is just play their ball. And we know sometimes in 162, especially against teams like the Marlins, where maybe they had the night off the night before. Maybe they went out a little bit, enjoyed some Miami nightlife. Who knows? Not opposed to that at all. It's 162 long year. But, the Fish have beaten the Phillies in similar situations. So I'm not one of these guys that decides to go hog wild because you're taking on a team that's absolutely in the dumpster. But Ranger Suarez on the mound, minus 205. Trevor Rogers getting the start for the Marlins at plus 170 this evening. 7-10 first pitch. 7.5 is your number here as far as the total is concerned in the game. And I understand Ranger Suarez has been dominant. He's been really damn good. He's going for history, his 8th victory, I believe, in the season this year. But, the bats have been swinging really good right now for the Phillies. So I'm looking at the team total for the Phillies, which is at 3.5/4 in some shops. I like that number. I also want to be opposed to over the total 8.5 or 7.5 right here. I just think that's really low. And I do expect the Phils to go down there, play with some confidence with Suarez on the mound, and give him some offensive support here.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily look at the game number. I would really more focus on the Phillies. I don't think this Marlins lineup has any juice to it, especially with Ranger Suarez, I mean, he's basically been like a top 5 pitcher in the entire league. You can make an argument for top 3. Um, I would look more at that 3.5 number for the Phillies. It's really just the simple case. Like I said, the Phillies are really good and the Marlins are really bad. They don't have a qualified hitter with an OPS over 800 this year. They're 29th in the league in ERA. They're not pitching good. They're not hitting good. They're not playing good defense. When you don't do that, you're not going to beat the good teams. The Phillies have had their struggles with the Marlins in the past. That's kind of always been their one easy team that for some reason has always given them a bit of a hitch. But I don't see that being the case this year. I mean, their ERA leader right now on their team has a 4.54. Like that's the lowest ERA out of all qualified pitchers on their team. So if you I'm all over that Phillies number. Team total -1.5. If you want to throw the money line in a parlay, that works as well. But there is not a single thing that I can look at this game tonight and you can convince me that the Marlins would even come close to winning this one. It's
Uh,
just not. It's not there. It's just they're just they're not
no,
good. Like
I yeah,
it's as
I wouldn't
simple
do
as
that
they're not
either.
good.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I just want to point this out, though. I love these numbers, especially when it's a bad team out there. You are looking at right now on DraftKings Sportsbook team total for the Marlins 2.5 at -122. That's just crazy, man. That is absolutely wild to me, but that's where they're at. That's a team that's absolutely in the dumpster. So you need to go down there and handle business. You're not going to get anything from me as far as, like you said, with the Marlins side. You're right. I'm glad we do this. I love when we get together and we talk about these games. The team total or the total in the game would be a mistake. It's 7.5. It would just be a mistake. Look at the Phillies. If runs are going to come in this game, it's coming one-sided. So
Exactly.
if you really want to get nuts, you can get the alternate line for the Phillies at 5.5 plus 140. You can go 6.5 at plus 210. I honestly would not be opposed to 6.5 at plus 210. I really would not.
I wouldn't either. No.
Conservatively, I would back it up to 5.5. I like that number. Let's go plus 140 to Phil's continue to stay hot, get the bats going. Of course, just coming off a loss, their first loss at home in 24 games,
Yeah.
or 24 days, excuse me, had the win streak snapped. Everything is rolling in their favor. The only thing that's an issue right now for that team, and we'll get into a little bit more big picture stuff with Luke, is the fact that Trey Turner ended up pulling a hammy with and he's going to be out for 6 weeks. Now, the good news is on that front, and I'm curious to know your thoughts because there's not many things that are good when Trey Turner, who was hot as hell, hot as fish grease, ended up getting hurt and missing 6 weeks. But we had Steve Buchanan on from DraftKings Sportsbook yesterday. He said, Sean, I just want to point out, have you looked at the schedule over the next 6 weeks? And I did not. And he laid out the teams. It's the Mets. It's the Angels.
It's the best possible time for Trey Turner to get hurt.
Which is crazy.
The best possible time. I mean, they have the Marlins for 3. They have the Mets for 4, who, while it's a division rival, we are way better than the Mets. Then they have the Nationals.
Is that Mets series in Citi Field or at Philly?
That is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. 2 games are in New York, 2 games are in Philly. I haven't seen that in a while. So yeah, they have Marlins for 3, in New York for 2, then home versus New York for 2, Nationals at home, Rangers at home, which Rangers are good, but I'll take us at home over the Rangers. Rockies in Coors Field, Mash City, Giants in San Francisco, St. Louis. Like this next 6 weeks is cake basically.
Yeah.
Other than that Rangers series. So there's never a good time for a player to get hurt. But this really is the one, because if you kind of get into June's where it gets a little tough. They have Boston, Baltimore, San Diego, Arizona. So he should hopefully be back for that beginning of June stretch. I think maybe a week or so into June. But yeah, this is definitely the time for Trey, I think, to go out. And while Trey is going out, this team has really picked up the slack. Most notably over the last week, Bryce Harper, just absolutely mashing the ball. One OPS over 1,300 over the last 7 days. Obviously, he had the big grand slam the other night. In his last 6 games, he has 7 hits, 10 RBIs, 16 total bases. He's been crushing the ball. Nick Castellanos, a name who got off to a really, really tough start, obviously, as we all know, has an 830 OPS over the last week. He's put the ball in play a lot. JT Realmuto's look great. Bryson Stott's coming back around. He has a 950 OPS, another guy who got off to a slow start. So it's, as Trey goes down, I think it was the day Trey went out, I asked, I need Bryce, I need Castellanos, and I need Stott, all 3 of those to step up. And over the last week, they've been the 3 best hitters on the team. So that's really all you can ask for. And even when you lose your hits leader on the season, this offense is still rolling. That says a lot.
It's an exciting time to be a Phillies fan. It really is. Teams
And it's not an
so
exciting time to be a Marlins fan.
no, definitely not. Yeah. Just the fact of where this team has been over the past few seasons, the addition of Bryce Harper, everything has just been raised from the likability factor. Now they just got to match it up with winning, being dominant. Like, because this team has won over the past 3 seasons. It's now, if you are at that level of where the expectation for me, when we talked about a preseason, I don't need to go into it. You talked about the best pitching staff in baseball, one of. I said our expectations need to change. Now, I know that Strider gets hurt for the Braves, yada, yada, yada. We're not even discussing that just yet, focusing on the Phillies here. This team, I needed it to match up in the regular season. They've done that and then some, holding the best record right here, right now, May 10th. Luke, I saw a stat this morning on MLB Network that said the largest postseason probability increases so far from entering the season in March to where we're at right now. Phillies are top of the chart. Even our expectations for this team to get into the postseason, all the metrics and the analytics and the fan graphs and how they come up with those numbers. I get it. I have no idea how the cookies are made, but I do know this much. 36.8 was the increase from where they were. They had a probability of floating around 500%, 50% to get into the playoffs. I thought that was low. You thought that was low. Everybody thought that was low. But man, this team has been playing some great baseball. It starts with the pitching in my mind, right? I think that's hard to argue at this point in time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're top 3 in every single pitching statistic from starting pitching. They're number 2 in ERA, first in innings pitched, second best in earned runs allowed, first in WHIP. They're just these starters have just been unbelievable. They have 34 of the Phillies' 38 games this year. Their starting pitcher has allowed 3 or less earned runs. They have put this team in a place to succeed basically every single night. So as long as the offense goes a little bit, these starters are doing their job and more. Zach Wheeler's front runner to win Cy Young. Ranger Suarez, if he wasn't technically a number 3, would probably lead all odds in all of baseball. Spencer Turnbull signed for $2 million, and now that he obviously got moved to the bullpen, he has like a 1.6 ERA. Aaron Nola is still Aaron Nola, right? Christopher Sanchez, a big bounce back start the other night. Even Walker looked good in his last start. All 6 of these starters right now just look fantastic. For the first time in a while, I somehow feel the best, even with how this lineup is hitting. I still feel the best about the pitching, which is something that we haven't said in a long time for the Phillies. So it's awesome to see. And I think it will hold. It looks like something that will hold. Ranger's always been like this. We know how Ranger gets in the playoffs. The dude's just an animal. And when the lights are the brightest, Ranger's at his best. Are the lights that bright on a Friday night game in May down in Miami? Probably not. I mean, there's that artificial light in there is probably a little bright. But I mean, Rangers just dominating every single start. Like 1 earned run, 0 earned runs, 7 strikeouts. He's finally striking batters out more as well. Less ground balls, more strikeouts, which is awesome to see from Ranger. I like genuinely get excited every day to watch this team play baseball. Just because how good they are. Like they're living up to expectations. They're putting the league on notice. They're saying, "Hey, we've had these playoff runs the last 2 years, and it hasn't ended how we wanted, but like we are the real deal. Like this team is the real deal. This offense is elite. All of our arms are elite. The bullpen, while they've been a little underwhelming, their top guys have still looked really good. Jeff Hoffman is basically unhittable every time he comes into the game. Matt Strahm looks great. He had a rough outing the other night, but he's looked really good. Jose Alvarado once again just looks like Jose Alvarado again. This is the best the Phillies have looked since 2011. And if they keep playing at the pace that they're playing, I think they could win more games than that 2011 team who won 104 games.
Yeah, it's look, when we start comparing again, nobody's hanging a banner. I just want to put that out there. It's May the 10th, but it's just
there's a lot of baseball left.
Yeah, you're spot on with the enthusiasm, the excitement level for everybody out there for a Phillies baseball game, right? And even though they're playing the Marlins, I know everybody's going to be like, yo, Phil's game around 7 o'clock. And I know it's raining outside here in Philly, but if you're going out tonight, you're going to go to a bar. That's going to be front and center over any NBA playoff matchup, over any NHL playoff game. Doesn't matter. Phillies,
because they're hot.
Marlins.
Like,
Yeah,
and
they're fun
we've
to watch.
seen like these last 2 Octobers. Like, I love the Eagles. The Eagles are my second favorite team without a doubt. When this
Mm-hmm.
Phillies team is hot in the playoffs, there's nothing like it. Like, there's nothing in this city that's like it when this years.
Red October, baby.
It is incredible. They bring the fans in so much, and it's really been a joy to watch over the last few years, and it's only getting better. They're finally putting the league on notice, and for the love of God, they're finally just doing their job when they need to. They don't have stupid losses in May that like throw them back in the standings. They're not like doing dumb stuff. They're just getting the job done night in and night out.
All right, well, let's get the job done for the people. Let's get some winning plays here. I'll tell you straight up that I am loving the team total. I think the Phillies go down there and rake. I think that this is a blowout win. I think this is a rocking chair win. So I wouldn't be scared to give the -1.5, but I'm not going to. I'm going to look at the team total. As I said, I'm going to go with the over 4.5, be a little modest on that number. And I love Ranger Suarez, where I'm not going to be modest. This guy has had 8 strikeouts in 3 of his last 5 starts. And you're going to hang a 7+ for +210. I'm going to say he's going to strike out 7 hitters tonight. I think he gets up around that number. Now, 6 would be a good number to have. Don't get me wrong, which is right here. That's the over/under on DraftKings Sportsbook. So if you want to go +105 at 5.5, I think that's a good number for a modest play. But why not shoot for the stars? If you're going to give me 7+ at +210, I'm going to go with that. I think Ranger goes down there. He's focused. He's going to be loose in that Miami atmosphere. Real easy to go down there and play, and he's going to strike out a bunch of batters tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to be all over Ranger tonight as well. I'm going to go over 18.5 outs recorded at +130. Basically has to get through the 6th and record 1 out in the 7th. I like those odds against this Marlins team. Ranger Suarez to record a win -110. He's recorded a win in every single start this season. And I don't believe that changes tonight against the Marlins. So
he's going for history. That's another one. Wait, one more time. What was the number on that, Luke?
-110 to record a win.
He's going for history tonight, too. Sheffield Shuffler put something up on the timeline a little earlier this morning. I gave that a retweet. Let me pull that up. But this is, let's see here. I thought I did.
I believe I think I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
I can't remember exactly what it is. But if we do want to flip the batter props for a minute.
No, I got it right here. Here you go. Ranger Suarez tonight. You know, Twitter just doesn't work smooth at all anymore.
No,
Ranger Suarez looks to join Steve Carlton as the only pitchers in Phillies history to go 7-0 in their first 8 starts of the season.
That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn good. That's not bad.
He's 6-0. He's 6-0. That's right. Right now, he's 6-0.
6-0. Over 18.5 outs. I can't believe that number's -110 to record a win against this Marlins team. I'm gonna be all over that. Bryce Harper, right now he's only listed at a half a hit on DraftKings. If you can find over 1.5, take that. He's hot. He's mashing lefties right now. I would also look at JT. JT right now over 1.5 hits, +185. He's been hitting lefties really well, back to where he used to play. Maybe a little home run down in Marlins City for JT. I would look at those odds, +475. I would also continue to look at Schwarber. He's been hitting lefties significantly better than righties this year. His home run for tonight's +380, which is a lot higher than it usually is for Schwarber. It's usually around like it's a lot of times it's all the way in the 2s. So I would look at Schwarber tonight. But really Bryce, JT, Bohm, and Nick Castellanos. But yeah, I just think it's a big night. Trevor Rogers, they have yet to win a Trevor Rogers start this season. He's not pitching good. He allowed 8 earned runs in 2 innings of the Oakland Athletics last start. Like he's cooked. This team is cooked. And the Phillies aren't. So take all the offense over alternate. I would probably go over 4.5, like you said. And then that -1.5 as well. I think this is a big night.
Yeah, fire up DraftKings Sportsbook. Get involved with the same game parlay. Get some Suarez numbers in there. Of course, you just heard Bryce Harper, JT, and I'm sure that there is definitely some conversation going through the clubhouse about that number for Ranger Suarez. I definitely love that play, getting him the victory tonight.
Yeah,
as well. Dude's been dynamite all season long. All right, let's keep it moving from the Phillies. Let's hit on a little bit of what's happening around the league. Now, I've always had trouble, and I watched this kid dominate at LSU. Is it Skeens or
yeah,
Skins? I think
Skeens,
it's Skeens. So he
Skeens.
just got
Yeah,
called up, and he's going to make his debut here on Saturday against the Cubs. Pretty cool stuff there to see the number 1 overall pick. Glad that the Pirates aren't messing around. Dude could very well be the best pitcher in baseball at the end of this season if he is as good as advertised, which I don't think anything will change there. Do we expect, what do we expect going against the Cubs tomorrow? Is it just, it's a rookie pitcher? Should we be a little bit cautious? But, books are going to hang a decent number for strikeouts, so on and so forth. Is this all hands on deck, fire away at the young gun, the overall number 1 pick for the Pirates?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to look at the numbers before we kind of get into them. I don't think they're out yet. But I mean, this kid's unreal. Like he's younger than me. He's only 21.
Yeah.
He threw 27 and a third innings in the minor leagues this year, and is only 27 innings of a professional baseball so far. He has 45 strikeouts in 27 innings. He's a .99 ERA and 7 starts with a .91 WHIP. He's basically allowed like 1 earned run.
He's got 6.5. Some books are showing right now 6.5 at +112 strikeouts. The win on DraftKings Sportsbook, it's -110 both ways. 7.5 is your total.
That's gonna probably end up being a number that I don't like push for everybody to take, but it's gonna be a number that I'm gonna take if I'm watching the game. Just because I want to root to watch this dude strike people out. Yeah, I would probably go over 6.5. I think it has the chance. I mean, this is one of the most highly anticipated debuts since Steven Strasburg. I think that he's going to have a lot of eyes on him. I think he has a pretty good day. And I think I am going to go on his strikeouts for sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
Other things
this
from.
kid's just gross. He's so good.
Oh, yeah, he's
I
ridiculous.
believe he's on your fantasy team as well.
You're damn right. I got General Manager of the Year award locked up. We had Walker Buehler get his first start of the season on Monday, and now we got Skeens. And when we drafted him, we ran that draft a couple weeks ago. Now, we haven't been the perfect team by no means. I think we have let go of a few players. My AGM let go of a few players that I've questioned at the same time. It's a long season, so he's kind of got the flow of things. Here we are, though. But yeah, this week we planned it, and we said, and we were struggling. We were trying to trade Trout before he got hurt to get some pitching, and of course he gets hurt, which is just ridiculous, but expected.
I offered you Sir Anthony Dominguez for Mike Trout straight up. You didn't take it.
I can't believe we didn't take that. I will right now, though. Do you want to give it now? Anyways, so look, and we said we needed pitching, and I go, all we need is those guys to be called up and activated, and here it happened all within a 5-day stretch. So, as far as planning is concerned, as far as fantasy, boom, that we nailed that one. But now they got to deliver, because it means nothing if Walker Buehler gives up 4 runs every time he's out there on the bump, as he did on Monday.
Right.
But it's only game 1 for him. He'll be fine. And then, of course, the young gun. Can't wait to see him. All right, other storylines from around the league. I got my eye on the Braves right now. What's going on, Luke?
Yeah, I mean, Braves are kind of how they've been. They're not as good. They're 4-6 in their last 10. They've won their last 2 though. I believe they kick off tonight against the Mets.
Correct. Charlie Morton and Jose Quintana.
Yeah, not the most lights bright pitching matchup, but I would say still a good one. I would probably lean the Braves in that game. That is a 3-game series, I believe. Sunday Night Baseball. Nice. On ESPN. They actually have a pretty tough schedule coming up. The Padres. So they're pretty tough games. Yeah, they're just kind of pitching's been a bit of an issue. Definitely, I think what we said all along and what I said all along coming into this season, I think even before they lost Strider, I wasn't thoroughly impressed with the back half of the rotation. I don't think those guys towards the back have been that good. I don't think if you're a team like the Braves and you're trying to continue to win these divisions, I think it'll be like 6 divisions in a row or something like that for them now. You need better pitching in the back half of your rotation. And it just hasn't been there. Bryce Elder hasn't been good at all. Chris Sale, well, I do say I was a little low on Chris Sale. He's looked pretty good so far. He is an ERA under 3. But once again, I think that's still a situation for me that I need to see it for a full season. Out of Chris Sale. And then I mean if you're talking lineup, I mean everybody knows right now the top 3 MVP in the National League, one of them is going to be Marcell Ozuna after the first month and a half. I mean, the dude's been on a tear.
Also on my fantasy team.
There you go. The last few games haven't been as good, but he's still been incredible. OPS over 1,000. But the issue with this lineup right now is after that, Travis d'Arnaud's their next OPS leader at 883. And then after that, they don't have a guy over 800. Ronald Acuna Jr., 786. He's only hitting 260 on the year. Ozzie Albies is hitting 290. But I mean, Austin Riley's struggling. Matt Olson's been really bad to start the year. Average just over 200 with an OPS under 700. So a guy that basically was a huge driving force in their lineup last year has basically been nowhere. So that's definitely been hurting them. I mean, I think we know that they'll turn it around once we get deep into the summer. I think this lineup's going to start mashing. Kind of like the Phillies were at first, where I think we were a little nervous when we were losing those games in the beginning. I don't think there's a ton to worry about the Braves. But right now, I mean, it's really been Marcell Ozuna just carrying this lineup.
Other storylines from around the league, and this is a pretty big one because we're talking about a team that has been in or has made it to a World Series in 7 straight ALCS. I'm talking about the Houston Astros. Now, of course, they've mixed in a few World Series trips in there as well. But 7 straight. The ALCS in the last 7 seasons has featured the Houston Astros taking on someone, and it looks like that is going to come to an end. Now they're 13-24. Do I think they'll be as bad at right now throughout the course of this year? No, but I think that they'll have some tough decisions to be made come trade deadline. So maybe this is a team that could finish 10 to 15 to 20 games under 500. It's just the law of averages when they're this bad. And there's a lot of better teams in the AL than people expected. You look around the division in the Central, you know, the Cleveland Guardians and the Minnesota Twins are doing well. The Royals, I know
that's going to be a really fun race.
Yeah,
come August,
23-16, Kansas City, Detroit, 19-18. And it doesn't stop there. Look at the AL East. All 5 of those teams are competing right now. Toronto struggling at the bottom. Boston doing a lot of big things that people didn't think they would. And then you get to the West. You got Texas doing big things. They're 22-17. Seattle struggling at the dish. Pitching staff is elite. They're 20-18. Hell, the A's are 18-21. So long way to go, but it is concerning if you're an Astros fan at this point in time. Correct, Luke?
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of that case right now where, I mean, everything is just falling apart for them. Their starting pitching has been horrendous. They're 28th in the league in ERA. They're 25th in hits allowed. They've been just like historically bad pitching to start the year. The lineup has picked it up a bit over the last few weeks, but it's just they're just like, it feels like the last 5, 6, 7 years they've just been just this lethal group and this lethal core that just mashes, and they'll bring a starter up and he'll have a 1.5 ERA, and everything just clicked for them. And right now it's not. So I don't really know where they go from here. If they get hot and they can get to 500, hopefully by maybe the beginning of June, I think they know they have the names maybe on the stat sheet to make a run. but they're going to have to get pitching. Their rotation has been really bad. Their bullpen hasn't been great either. It's been a disaster start to the season for the Astros. I mean, the Oakland Athletics have 5 more wins than them. Like it's been an utter disaster for them to start the year.
All right. Anything else from around the league you want to get off your chest right now, Luke Arcaini in the driver's seat?
Get off my chest. Not really. There's a lot of fun races right now. While the Dodgers are running away with the West, this NL Central is locked by a half a game. Phillies obviously 2 games up on the Braves, but the Rangers and the Mariners are close, like you said. That AL Central race is really fun right now. 3 teams all within a game and a half. And I still think the best race once we get to September is going to be this Orioles-Yankees race for the AL East. I have the Orioles. I have an Orioles AL East ticket. But I mean, this is going to be a fun one. These lineups mash. I really hope. I haven't looked at their schedule. I hope they have a series against each other like late in September, because it has been awesome to watch both of these teams play so far this year. And it's going to be one that I think is down to the wire in the last month of the season.
All right, baby, loving it,
loving it.
Well,
Phillies are good. Marlins aren't. Just remember
that's
that when
it.
you're placing your bets.
And I did. I got a couple just to let everybody know. I'm all Ranger Suarez'd up, so that's going to be what I'm going to be watching this evening. 7:10 first pitch. My plays for DraftKings Sportsbook read as follows. I took the over 5.5 Ranger Suarez. I took over 5.5 Ranger Suarez strikeouts at plus 105. I took over 4.5 team total runs for the Phillies at minus 110. And I even sprinkled in a plus 7 plus strikeouts at plus 210 for Ranger Suarez. Again, 3 out of the last 5 starts, he's finished with 8 strikeouts. I'm going to fire up a same game parlay where I mix in getting the victory, the team total, and some strikeouts, have some fun, see what numbers I can get there. But it's a Ranger Suarez and a Phillies dominant win against the Miami Marlins, maybe a 7-1 final score. How about that?
Yeah, I'm all over that. All over Ranger, over 5.5 strikeouts, like you said. I'm going to take Ranger strikeouts. I'm going to take outs recorded over 18.5. And I'm going to take Suarez. Now it's already at minus 115 from minus 110 earlier.
For the win. Yeah.
Yeah, for the win. And then I am going to look tonight, Real Muto and Harper. Those are going to kind of be my guys in the lineup. I am going to take a Real Muto home run plus 475 as well. That's going to be the home run play. But yeah, I mean, this is a minus 1.5 Phillies team total, whatever you want. Just back the offense against bad pitching. It's just night and day right now between these two teams.
Let's go Phils. Let's get that dub. Luke, enjoy the rest of your day. Congratulations to your lady. Both of the gentlemen's ladies are graduating from their respective college over the weekend.
Graduation season.
Yeah, Sean Bernard is up the way as his lovely lady Maggie's graduating. Shout out your lady. What's she graduating? Where's she graduating? What's the deal?
So she's graduating from it's Elizabethtown College up near Lancaster. She's gonna be a teacher.
Nice.
Middle school, high school. She don't really know yet history, but she's doing good. Graduates tomorrow.
What's her first name again?
Kylie. We're just hoping the rain holds off. It's supposed to pour all day. It's raining right now, so.
Does that school have a gymnasium? Does that school have a gymnasium? Just move it inside.
Gymnasium, they do. They do have an indoor space. It's not that big.
That's all right.
It's going to get tight. It's going to get hot, but we'll see.
It'll be dry. Hey, man, enjoy it. Nice work. And go Phils. We'll talk over the weekend.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Rob.
There he is.